So why do we even care about values? You got goals and New Year's resolutions and other things you're just not going to stay with. And that's exactly the point. You might be very good at goal setting, coming up with a perfect plan, knowing what you want to eat and how you want to exercise and what your morning routine looks like and your evening routine and everything in between. But if understanding the plan was enough to do it, your life would look very different. You probably wouldn't be watching this video right now. Now, goals are great. I have lots of goals that I'm moving towards every single day. But the cool thing about values is values are more like a journey or a North Star. There's something to continuously aspire to, continuously correct to. Goals you check off. Go to the gym 3 times per day. Oh, that's a lot. Go to the gym 3 times per week. Check. But you wouldn't say, move towards being strong. Did it. Done. Crossed it off. Never have to do it again. You might say, call 1 friend every day. Check. But if your value is to connect with loved ones, to listen and be present for them, you wouldn't just be like, ha, did it. Now I can ignore their phone calls. If we think of values as our true north, as the who and the what that we want to move towards, as the qualities or characteristics that we possess. The cool thing is if life throws us some curveballs, which it always does, and the goals that we once had maybe aren't accessible or aren't accessible in the same way, if we have a clear idea of what our overarching values are, then you can always get back on track. Think about it like a road trip. You know, maybe you're headed up to Yellowstone because you've been watching that TV show a lot. And you know where you want to be going, and there's like this one highway that takes you there, and you're like zipping along on it, going 80, because apparently they let you go that fast here. But then there's construction. You see all those little yellow cones, the traffic starts creeping up, you're wondering like, what is this, LA? What's happening here? And I don't know, there's a bunch of bears on the highway. You don't just go like, oh, I guess I can't go to Montana. No, you might pull over, you might pause, you might stop for a moment, get more information, and maybe there's a side road that you can take, the scenic drive. And the road's a little bit bumpier and it takes a little bit longer. But if you have in mind what you want to be moving towards, what you want to see at the end of the day, who you want to be at the end of your life, you can correct that. Like I said, values are the who and the what that matter to us. They're our why we're doing life, why we're getting up every morning. They're the qualities or characteristics that we want to identify with, that we want to be known for. Now, values can change over your lifetime. We move through different phases. When you are maybe in college and you're single and you don't have any children, the things that are important to you, the things that you want to be focused on, might be different than when you're married with kids or when you're trying to build a business or start a creative career. And the things that are important to you might be different later in life. So we don't just set our values once and say that's it. We do want to be checking in with them maybe once a year, every couple of months, just make sure we're still on the right track, on the true north that we want to be headed towards. So how do we go about identifying our values? We can draw from a lot of different inspirations. Our cultures, our faith, our traditions, our family practices, all of these things can give us an understanding of what is important to us, either because we really resonate with it or because of maybe some bad or unpleasant experiences we've had that have made us realize, like, I really want to be this, not that. Or I've really been craving this. This has been missing in my life and I want to move towards that. A good place to start can be identifying who and what are important to you. The people in your life, the types of relationships that are in your life. So for example, if being in a romantic relationship is really important to you, but you're not in a relationship right now, that can still be a value, still be something that you're moving towards. And what, hobbies, things that you're doing in your spare time, your career, if that's something that's important to you. And then from there, we want to understand what the characteristics of this are. If we name family members or a partner or friends, the next question might be to ask yourself, what type of person do I want to be in this type of relationship? How do I want to show up to the moment? Now, remember, it's not like I want them to be respectful to me, towards me. I want them to be someone I can trust. We can't control other people. So it's really thinking about, like, how do I want to show up to a moment or to a relationship. Similarly, if you look at something like a career or a hobby, that might give you an indication of like, what about this is important to me? For some people, a career might be an opportunity for creativity or innovation or being challenged. For another person, it might be a source of financial stability. Another, it might be a way to help others. And there's no right or wrong answer here. And we can come up with an idea and then ask ourselves that question a couple of times. Why does this matter? What is important to me about this? How do I want to show up to this moment? In terms of qualities or characteristics, you might ask yourself, if I were to ask my loved ones, my coworkers, my employees to describe me, what would I want them to say about who I am, how they see me? Not what they would say, but what would you hope that they say about who you are? It might give you an understanding of where your values lie. And then you can put this into practice. Different moments throughout your day, just kind of pause and ask yourself, if I could take one small step towards something that's important to me, what would that be? Maybe it's sending a text message to your best friend, taking your dog for a walk, going to the grocery store. It doesn't have to be profound and life-changing. Living a meaningful life is a series of small steps. And now, this doesn't mean that if you live a life according to your values, that life is always wonderful and beautiful and joyful. Quite the opposite, in fact. When we come in contact with the things that are important to us, the type of person we want to be, the type of life that we want to have, more pain is there, more fear, more stress, more anxiety. Because we could lose this. We could be disappointed with it. We could be heartbroken. We could be hurt by it. So I can't guarantee you a happy life, as fleeting as that emotion may be, but I can say that if you work to identify what's important to you and start practicing taking steps towards it, you can show up as yourself and the person that you want to be. And I think that's pretty special. Now, it's not as easy as just flipping a switch and deciding, I'm gonna move towards my values. Because there's a lot of painful thoughts and memories and sensations and feelings that show up and make it difficult to move towards the things that matter to us. So check out my next video on diffusion, a totally made up word that can have a big impact on your life.